Welcome back, Freshwater Fishing Novices, new viewers. This is a big week this week for me. A year ago, as of this posting of this video, it wasn't my first video, but it was my first video that really hit. What video is that? How to hold a fish for beginners. I don't know why this video popped off. It really gave me a lot of encouragement early on in me starting YouTube. This week's video is like the second part of this video. This week's video, we're going to talk about how to properly release a fish. But before we get into how to properly release a fish for beginners, I want to thank all my new subscribers. We've shot up to 312 subscribers. Much appreciated. Thanks, guys, girls, anglers. Thank you all for hitting that subscribe button. With Moles, the Freshwater Fishing Novice, I can't thank you guys enough. I can't believe you guys are all watching my videos. And that's the only reason I'm continuing to make videos, is for all you subscribers, new viewers that haven't viewed my video before but need to learn how to fish as an adult. You've hooked a fish, you've caught the fish, you've properly learned how to hold the fish. Now you get the hook out. How do you release this fish? So you want to be careful with the fish still. I mean, you've already caught him, you've already hooked his face. Now you want to make sure you get a healthy release. Doesn't matter the size of the fish. You want to get a healthy release. So this fish goes on to live its life and reproduce and spawn and make more babies and give you more fish to fish for. If you're holding the fish, let's just say it's a bass, because this is a bass. Now, typically you're going to lip that fish, right? So what you're going to do is you're going to put it in the water, and then what's going to happen is they're going to start moving around. And then they might go flip and just flick off, and they're good to go. And I'm getting them going. I'm making sure that body's working, you know. And then you let it go, and the fish might go like that. Certain fish will not react the same way when you release them. Sunfish, zing. You could flip them in the water. It doesn't matter. I mean, you want to be nice to them if you can. Try to drop them in the water. When I release a fish, I like to, if I can't, put them in the water and let them, get back to acclimated so they're ready to swim off nice and healthy. Say I'm up 5 feet off the water. I catch a bass. He's small. When I go to release that bass, I'm not going to javelin it into the ground, but when I drop it, I'm going to drop it so it's head first, so the water shoots into the mouth of the fish, and my head oxygenating, or giving that fish oxygen and pushing water through its gills as it shoots through the water. I don't know if that's right. I do know you don't want to be flipping it up in the air. Sometimes when I fish, I don't know if this is because I don't know why. Sometimes I'll catch a fish. I like to get one rotation, and I don't know, in my head, maybe that bass gets a little bit of a thrill where it gets a little dizzy and then bloop into the water. If I don't put the fish in the water, I try to have that fish go vertical into the water. What about with a fish that you can't grab it by the mouth? Instead of your thumb, you have the fish grips attached to that fish's mouth. Same thing. You put the fish in the water, and then you have your fish grips. You wait for it to start moving around, and you pop it open, and that fish will take off. Rock bass, very similar to sunfish, they just take right off. As soon as they hit the water, they just out of there. But if you can, be nice to the fish, cradle the fish. If it's a trout or a salmon or something like that, you want to hold the fish like this with wet hands and just let it do its thing. Salmon and trout are kind of particular like that, where they're a little more sensitive, and you want to make sure they do their own thing at their own pace. Bass, kind of just hang out. They'll kind of come out of there, oh my God, I just got hooked. And they'll be like, whoop, nope. And they'll just take off. Sunfish the same way. They'll just shoot right off as soon as you put them in the water. Chain pickerel, like trout, you can put them in the water and they might just go and just casually take off. They don't shoot off like sunfish, rock bass, yellow perch shoot off like that. Bass sometimes take off like that, little bass. Be nice to your little buddy and let it just swim off. Well, last week was Mother's Day, and I put out a fishing video for my mom. Oh, she told me she likes watching me fish, so I figured I'd post that video. And she left me a comment. Everyone says, oh, you gotta watch out for haters. You gotta get a tough skin. That's my mom making fun of me right there. My dad's done it. My brother's done it. Close friends have definitely made fun of me on this YouTube channel. If you guys ever wondered what kind of inner circle I keep, it's people that make fun of me. Mom, thanks. I love you. I hope you had a happy Mother's Day. I really hope you liked that video, even though you were making fun of the fish I caught. The next comment I got, which was really a lot of questions, and I wanted to address these. My buddy Brett, my OG subscriber, my homie. What did Brett say? He was asking if I ever keep any of the better sized bass, like the keeper sized bass, and if I eat them. I don't. I don't know why I don't. I know that most bass fishermen frown upon eating bass. Is it because the fish tastes bad? Yes and no. So bass meat is going to be white. It's going to be just like a rock bass or like a sunfish or something like that. Similar meat, white meat. Here's why I don't eat them. I don't feel like there's a ton of meat on a bass. I'm sure I'm mistaken about that. I know the bigger the animal, the tougher the meat is. A big bass I'm not going to eat. So you only want to eat the smaller fish, which is fine. What I've heard about eating bass and cooking bass is it depends on the body of water that the fish comes out of. If you catch a bass in a muddy pond, I've heard that you will be able to taste that mud in that fish. Opposite of that, I've heard that if you catch a bass, a largemouth, out of a clean reservoir, it's super clean, clear water, then it's going to taste fine. Muddy water, muddy fish. Clean water, clean fish. Clean taste, muddy taste. If the water you're fishing in smells kind of sulfury or stinky or stagnant, that fish is probably going to kind of taste that way. Or that's what I've heard at least. The same thing applies to clean water. So super clean, clear, spring-fed, whatever, water. It's super clear. You're not going to smell anything on that water. It's not going to smell weird at all. The fish isn't going to smell weird either. So that transfers into the meat. Way too long of an answer for that question. The next part of this question, Brett asked, what's the best way to cook bass? Barbecuing, pan frying, air frying, what's the best technique? I would say that depends on the person cooking. Whatever your go-to technique for cooking fish is, I would stick with that because that's what you know the best. So it's going to turn out the best. Now, if you've never cooked fish before, that's a different thing. How would I explain how to cook fish to someone who's never cooked fish? Deep frying is different than pan frying, because deep frying you're going to have a ton of oil. So you're floating the fish in the fry oil, medium, high for temperature. Pan frying, very little amount of oil, maybe butter, and you're literally searing both sides depends on the fillet and how thick it is. But usually when I pan fry stuff, what I will do is I'll put the protein, the meat, the steak, the chicken, the fish, I'll put it in the pan, and I'm aware, I'm present, I'm watching what's happening. If I watch that protein cook up just before halfway, that's when I flip it. But I pay attention to the time that it's taken, a minute, 2, however many minutes it's taken to get to that point. I keep that in the back of my head, because when I flip it, I know it's going to take that set amount of time to cook up to that point, maybe a little bit less. And that's how I know that's how I pan fry stuff. If you're unsure about any protein being cooked, I suggest cutting into it and taking a look. If you see raw meat at all, that's not so hot. Depends on the fillet you're cooking. If you're cooking a big swordfish, that's different. That's when I watch it cook up and then I flip it. More of like a blackened, pan-seared kind of deal with the fish. Finish it with a little bit of lemon. You know, cooking with butter is never bad. A little bit of garlic, salt, pepper. Just keep it simple. I mean, if you want to get more creative, you can do like a crema sauce. So you do like sour cream, and then you water it down with like a heavy half and half. So it's pourable, it's not solid. So like you can drizzle sour cream over your piece of fish, your vegetable that's on rice or something like that. So typically when I do fish, it's a bed of rice, a mishmash of fresh vegetables like pico de gallo. So like fresh onions, fresh tomatoes, chilies, definitely lime in there. So that's on the bed of my rice. And then I top it with a piece of fish, whatever piece of fish I eat. And then I drizzle crema sauce all over the whole thing after I hit it with lemon. So, I don't know, Brett, I hope that answers your question. Maybe I'll try to eat bass this year. If you guys want to see me eat a bass this year, let me know that you guys want to see me catch a bass, eat it. I'll show you how to cook it. And I'll make a whole video out of that, I guess. I hope you guys liked this video this week. I hope you found it educational and possibly entertaining. If you did, there's a button you can hit that reflects how I just asked you if you feel. Oh, is it? If you found this video entertaining at all, and you're a new viewer, you can help my channel out by literally doing something that's free. Just hit that subscribe button. What that will do is let other new anglers, adult anglers like you and I, it will help them find my videos. All right, Freshwater Fishing Novices, new viewers, it's been Freshwater Fishing Novice Friday. My name is Moles. I'm the Freshwater Fishing Novice, and this is the Freshwater Fishing Novice YouTube channel. Hope you guys have a great weekend. I'll catch you next week.